Okay guys, so you asked for a tour, so here it is. Here's the cabin. This is the same structure that my tent was on, and Mike Douglas finished it. All the lumber, well, 80% of the lumber was milled right on the property here. Dan had a chainsaw set up where he can mill all the pine trees. So we have stairs coming up to the porch. Here's the side. Got my traps there. It's got a window. A little bird's nest going. I got this mosquito netting for the door. It's got magnets in the middle. So with the wood stove, this whole corner is set up for summertime. So I'm not going to be using the stove at all this summertime. Okay. The plan is to put sheet metal on this wall, that wall, and then a box, and that is going to be gone, and that's going to be a long shelf for wood storage, for firewood for the winter time. That shelf will be gone and moved over someplace else. Okay, there's the bed, shelving, stove, more shelving. Let me back up here. More shelving, more shelving. This is the gun case. Table. Okay. Up above the door, we got, hold on. There we go. Books. Gun cleaning stuff. My lantern. Here's the thing here. This pushes and it comes on. So if I need quick light, that comes on. That's my desk. This is my view from my desk. This is my home surround sound system. So my iPod hooks up to that, and that hooks up to the solar panel. And with a full charge, I can get almost 40 hours of play time from that radio system. Let's see, I got my night lights. These are solar panel also. So those are red, so they can stay on. They're not bright, they won't ruin your night vision. You can sleep with them on. And they usually die around 1 o'clock in the morning. So the hammock goes through there and down to a hook. I'll show you on the other side. Right here. I'm trying not to move the camera too quick so you guys don't get seasick. So the hammock strap will go through here and down. It comes down to there. See that hook? Right there. So hooks. So the hammock, or your body weight, is pulling on there, and it's also pulling up on there. So you're basically dividing the weight on that wall. So that just helps out the wall. What else can I show you? That's about it. I have a rug. Same rug that I got on clearance from IKEA years ago. Yeah. Hi. So the bed, that's just a frame. Heavy duty frame. It's got to be heavy duty. Okay. And so I got two of these mattresses side by side. Okay. And then on top of that is a mattress topper that I got on clearance from IKEA. And that's it for the bed. That's what makes up the bed. Okay. The bed frame is just plywood and 4x4s and 2x4s and 2x6s. Okay. So that's the bed. Oh. So yeah. So it had to be a full-size bed because all this summer my son is going to be up here all summer vacation. So he can sleep near the window. I'll sleep on this side. Behind the desk here is a folding out cot. So I can have a guest sleep here. If I had to, I can hook up the hammock and have a fourth person in here if I needed to. So this is where I live full time now. My friend Courtney, he was staying in here over the winter. So I had to kick him out because now I'm back full time. This is the cabin. So Mike, the school owner, Mike Douglas, he did all this work. He finished in all the frame. He did a great job. I'm extremely thankful for him for doing this. And like I said, all this lumber, except for the tongue and groove on the ceiling here, all this lumber, the flooring, and the outside lumber was all milled on the property. The floor, I think those are like 2 trees. They're 3-inch thick pieces of wood here. Everything's spray foamed. Up here we got rigid foam in the ceiling. Hope you guys like it. I certainly do. Okay.
So welcome to the Maine Primitive Skills School. I want to share with you our atrium and our apothecary. We use this space not only to prepare wild edible and medicinal plants for use, but we also use it as our class kitchen area so people can prepare their food. Come on in. In the fall, this place is hanging with drying plants that will garble or peel off the stems and put into containers to be used as teas, to be used as food, cordage materials. So there'll be milkweed here and mint, some lavender from last year. We have all kinds of space to dry the plants. It's protected from the rain and it gets direct sun. You can see here that this year we're letting it go fallow, but normally we grow fruit-producing domesticated plants like eggplants and tomatoes, and also some of the brassicas, for instance. Pigweed is growing in here now because the people who are here want to study the weeds and their edible medicinal uses that occur naturally in the garden. And that makes sense, you know, vigor, less care, and more chock full of nutrients, minerals, and vitamins. Wild plants provide a free resource, and if we tap into it, we can increase their bounty. Before we go into the kitchen, just wanted to show you, this is a black walnut hull dye that somebody's been experimenting with. Our kitchen is primarily designed as a plant and food preparation place to store long-term winter larders. So come on in, I'll show you what we're working on. On this chopping block, which pulls out, we have our grinder for flour, our acorn processing grinder. This is a station that we use frequently to process our gathered acorns into flour, but we also process many other things into flour: rose hips, whole wheat grain into raw flour. It's important not to cook or prepare old flour. The moment you grind something up, it starts to oxidize and lose its nutrient value. So we store whole grains and use them as needed. These eggs were gathered from our chickens and ducks. This is a working apothecary. If you come to a class, we have a refrigerator for your food. We have a stove that you can cook on. Again, it's primary use, and in this case we have Japanese knotweed tea because Lyme disease is so prevalent in the Northeast now. Our drying racks right now are filled with colt's foot. It looks like some wild garlic. I don't know what this is up here. Oh, Japanese knotweed root for winter. You know, the ticks do come out in warm seasons. Even if the ground is frozen, if it gets above a certain temperature, usually around 50, 55, the deer ticks will come out. So we have to have Japanese knotweed for year-round availability. We make tinctures out of the roots, and that'll hold us through the winter. We have a whole protocol to avoid spreading it, to include being mindful of anything that goes down your drain. All of that surface area is cutting board. Inside these cabinets, we'll have jars that will be labeled that we put away this year for our apothecary. Right now, the jars that we made from last year have been removed and are stored and categorized in our pantry, which is an edible medicinal storehouse for our gathered foods. We've made some dandelion wine. Just made a recent video on that. We've got things crowding, sauerkraut, kimchi, and we've got our sizer, which is honey from bees that we helped to harvest from, and apples that we gathered last fall. Many of the plants that we prepare during the classes, everyone goes home with a sample, but we have extras intentionally for the community. So this is boo-boo salve, which is comfrey and plantain in an olive oil and beeswax mix. It's just like lip balm or bag balm, and we use it for everything from cuts, sores, chapped lips, chafing. Japanese knotweed and berberine tincture for antimicrobial, antiviral, antibacterial. It's also a great wash externally for camp hygiene. We've got our dried apples from last year. These are the survivors from overwinter. And you can see all of these things were either gathered by, grown by, or processed by folks either through the classes or within the community. There it is. Brief tour of the Maine Primitive Scale School kitchen, apothecary, and atrium.
We're going to take a look at some of our simple facilities here at the Primitive Scale School. It's really important that we check for ticks a lot because of the abundant ticks here. So we have a little tick changing area, and you can see Jim. Oh look, he's checking for ticks. We also have a little simple propane heated shower there.
So we are a primitive school, but we do have hot showers.
So over here we have our composting toilet system. We like to utilize all the resources that we have available, and one of the big resources that we have is human waste. So how do we turn that from a waste into an asset? And by doing that, we can compost it down and put it on our fruit trees and grow food with the students' waste. So basically there's 2 toilets in here with all your normal amenities such as toilet paper. And after you go, the waste drops down below into a pile where it's composted. And after it fills up here, we can slide this whole building over to the next bin. and the floor too. So that way we can fill up each area, and then about a year or two after we've used it, it's composted down, and we can just go in the back and shovel it out and spread it around on fruit trees or whatever we want to enhance the soil in an area. We can add our human manure.